Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. As you may have realized, this video seems a little different from all the videos I've been doing because I got a magnificent volunteer here in Dubai to record it for me. I'm out on a trip and there were issues with the video that you're supposed to watch this week. So I'm doing this one because I don't want to disappoint you guys this Friday. You know Friday is for YouTube. Next Friday though, everybody's watching mistakenly yours, so no YouTube video next Friday. But this Friday, I'm bringing you this special edition all the way from the marvelous, beautiful city of Dubai. Chisom, please, can you show them my view outside? Please shout out to Chisom in the comments. I just met her today and I've conscripted her to help me get this video done. Please, this video might be a bit chaotic. I'm sharing an apartment with some friends and they might show up any moment, so just stick with us on this one. So Chisholm's going to be asking me some questions that you guys sent in and I'm going to try to answer them in this video. Let's go.
Hi Laju.
Hi.
I've been in a talking stage with the guy for almost 6 months. We live in different cities and have not been able to meet. I've asked him what he really wants and he said it's not in clear terms, but he likes me. Should I just cut off the relationship?
So the last time I answered a question like this, I asked the guys who were married in the audience how many of them knew when they were going to marry the woman that they eventually did marry. And most of them said they knew almost immediately. Some said as soon as they met her, some said it took just a few weeks. But I never saw anyone who said it took 6 months to even consider this person. I feel like if you are in a talking stage for so long, it kind of blocks your chances of actually entering a relationship with somebody else that might be interested. So I would say, see that as a friendship, a platonic friendship. If he's not come out to say, I really like you, I really love you, and I want us to be in a relationship, then you are not in a relationship. No matter how often you guys talk or how much he laughs at your jokes or says things like, I wish I could marry somebody like you. Somebody like you is not you. So I would say, if you've had that conversation and it's kind of like he doesn't know what he wants for sure, see it as a friendship but be open to other prospects and let him know that you just see him as a friend as well. You might also need to be less invested in that relationship. If you are invested, just go with the mindset that this is a friendship, but I'm not hoping that one day he finally sees me as worthy and asks me to be his beloved girlfriend or wife. All right, but you should see my video on the talking stage do's and don'ts. You should watch it. It's right here on my YouTube channel and I'll be able to answer your question even more. But 6 months is a long time.
Next question.
Okay.
I really like this lady in church and I have gotten confirmation that she's my wife. However, I'm not really sure she shares the same feelings as I do. She acts as though she's attracted to me sometimes, and other times she barely notices me.
So
I'm scared of approaching her and getting rejected. What should I do?
Okay, so I have a question. How does she act like she's attracted to you? Does she look at you and smile? Does that mean she's attracted to you? See, we must be careful to ensure that we confirm relationships and the feelings of others with intentional words and not suggestive gestures. Confirm with intentional words and not suggestive gestures. So I have a very old video on my channel, Love versus God Said. If God told you that that lady is your wife, God must also tell her as well. But the truth is that when it comes to scriptures, I mean, what we learn from scriptures is that God chooses with you and not for you. So even if you like her and she's been confirmed by God for you, God still needs to speak to her and she also still needs to like you. Because even with somebody that you love or like, marriage is no walk in the park, it's a lot of work. So you want to make sure that this person is also choosing you, not just because you saw a vision, but because they also have a personal conviction and a personal likeness for you as well. So I would say, if you like her, get to know her, approach her prayerfully, and whatever answer she gives, be okay with that. If she says I'm not interested, please let her go and know that God will bring somebody better your way who will like you as much as you like them. Next question, Chisom.
How do you combine ministry plus business plus motherhood plus marriage together? Do you have times where you just excel at one or two and the others suffer as a result?
So this, if I had a penny or a dollar or a dirham for every time I was asked this question, I would have a lot of money. I am getting to have a lot of money, but not yet. Wait, I'm going off key. Just follow me. This is not about money. This is about balance, right? So I get this question a lot. That's what I was trying to say. And one thing I always tell people is, first of all, it's a lot of grace. God really helps me. I'm not even going to lie. God really, really helps me. There are some things that come easily to me, and then when I do them, people are like, "Oh wow, this is so amazing! This is so." I'm just like, God just really helps me. So God really, really helps me. But the thing about grace, like Paul said, is that the grace that was bestowed upon me was not given to me in vain. So I believe that grace is given to us to work. So I'm a very hard worker. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to pretend. I do work hard. I do a lot of things. If you know me, my nickname is A to ZL, aka Girl with Many Graces, aka Not Just PL, aka PL. It's like I'm rapping. I'm also a rapper, Lil PL. Woo. But I do a lot of things, and one thing I've learned is to not do all of them at the same time. So I might pick 2 or 3 big projects I'm working on, and there are some parts of my life that are constant. Ministry is a constant, my family is a constant, my relationship with God is a constant. One thing I constantly remind myself of is that anybody can be a pastor, which is a very high calling, and I'm honored. But somebody else can pastor people, but I'm the only person that can be a mother to my children. I'm the only person that can be a wife to my husband. So there are times when we need to center ourselves, and the times where I make sure I center myself and then focus on my family. Because the thing about balance is it's a constant thing. It doesn't just happen once. There are times where if it's a weekend, for example, and I'm preaching, thankfully my mom is usually around over the weekends, so my focus at that time is ministry. At that time I might not carry my baby as long as I would during the week, right? I might not spend as much time with my family as I would during the week. But just really understanding, first of all, that everything must stem first from relationship with God, not defining yourself by the things you do. Because there were seasons of my life where I wasn't doing much. I was just a pregnant woman, growing a baby, sleeping and waking up. But I learned to find myself not by what I do, but by whose I am. So that's a good place to start that foundational issue. Knowing that you belong to the Lord, and getting your essence from that, so you don't try to do things just to prove who you are. But then really working hard, embracing grace. And then I cannot even ignore this one. I have a great support system. My parents, my staff, my household staff, my staff of my company, the other pastors and workers in Celebration Church, my husband, my parents-in-law. So it really is, it does take a village, and I happen to have a really good village. I have great friends, I have a great staff, I have really amazing family. So I'm very grateful to have that support. Are there times when I think that there are aspects of this that do suffer? Perhaps, but because I learned to be in touch with myself and my environment. I'll give you an example. A few weeks ago, I had such a busy weekend, and my daughter said, "Mommy, you haven't really spent time with us." I said, "Oh well, do you mean that?" And so the next day, I preached in one of our campuses. I rushed down to the campus where she was, and I took her and her sister out. We got food, and then we came back home and had a movie night. So one thing I try to do is to be in touch with my surroundings, and the key players in my life, and ensure that I make up for lost time when there is lost time. And I trust God to help me, and I have a great support system. Next question, please.
How do you deal with people's overwhelming ask for advice as a pastor? People around you have problems, but you also have problems.
No problem, Jesus name. All right, so I think that first of all, it's an honor to serve people. I know that there've been times in my life where I had questions, and I was glad I had pastors to help me answer them. So it is an honor to serve. It's an honor to point people to the right way in the word and in common sense, and I'm very, very honored. But the truth is, one thing I'm learning to understand is I cannot pastor everybody. If I responded to every single DM, I probably would not be able to attend to the things that matter in my life. I probably would not be a good mom or a good wife, because I would always constantly be doing that. But I try as much as possible to remember that it's an honor, but to serve people. But I also remind myself that eventually I can't do everything, so I try to delegate. So for example, someone says mentor me, I'm like, if you want someone that's checking on you every week, I don't really have the bandwidth for that, but I can hand you over to somebody else who I've trained or the church has trained that can help you in that direction. And the thing about Celebration Church, for example, is that we train people, and we train people who can train other people. So there's always someone that can help in that regard. That's another reason why I invest so much in materials, in doing videos like this, in books, even in films, because there are so many people who I've learned from that I've never met in person, but just watching their messages or their videos or reading their books has changed my life already. So I encourage people to go for materials, and I try as much as possible to do the best I can with the resources and the time that I do have. Are all the questions finished already? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I told Chisoma I was going to get her out of here in a few minutes. You guys, you see all the you see all the investments I'm making to make sure that you have wonderful YouTube videos every week. Please share this video. You have a question? Chisoma has a question.
Yeah. What would you say to someone that is just sitting somewhere and just like watching your video and just saying, God, where do I start from in life? And it could be from anywhere, like any part of the person's life.
I would say, first of all, you need to understand that it's not what you do that defines you. And that's my first point, because there's a way we can, in the search for significance, look to stuff, look to efforts, even good things to define us, look to ministry, look to work to define us. And when you put yourself in that kind of situation, it's a trap, because when you do well, there's a tendency to look at yourself and say, oh, this is all me. When you don't do well, there's a tendency to look at yourself and say, maybe I'm not worth it. So start from embracing who you are. That's the first thing. Next thing I would say is, whatsoever your hands find to do, do with all your might. My pastor and husband will always say, God doesn't have to tell you, do this job. Whatever your hand finds to do, do with all your might. So there are going to be times where God will give you specific instructions. But if there are no specific instructions, make the most common sense decision possible that you have a peace about. Do research. Many times there have been aspects of my life that I found by simply working in other aspects. So for example, I started my coaching business, book writing coaching business, by when I wrote my book, and people would ask me questions about how to write a book. It came easily to me and I could teach people. But it never occurred to me that there was something like book writing coaching, and that's been one of my biggest sources of income, maybe before film, right? So I would say, do what your hands find to do them with all your might. I would also say, invest in self-development. There's something about reading books, watching reasonable videos that just expands your mind, and many times God can lead you in that direction where he may not speak to you in an audible voice, but if you spend time in the Word and you spend time with the right materials, you will have a sense of direction. But getting up to do the work is such a good idea. If you may not have decided, you may not have planned to kill Goliath, but in keeping your sheep, you come across the lion and the bear. And in coming across the lion and the bear, it prepares you for what actually destiny is. But it might seem like just a normal situation. So you need to make the best of Chronos, that is regular time, so that when Kairos comes, you can take advantage of Kairos. So I would say, do the best you can, surround yourself with the right people, don't be lazy, don't be idle, don't get your worth from what you do, but from whose you are. And then that way, work now becomes more rewarding, because you're not looking at it to define you. But do whatever you can, do the best you can with all your might. And I'll say this, many times your dream is not enough to feed you. There's nothing wrong with doing a job that you might not absolutely love, just so you can have food on the table and you can be able to take care of yourself. And as you work and you invest in somebody else's own, eventually God will give you your own. So I hope I've answered your question, Chisom. You guys want to see what Chisom looks like? Anyway, you guys subscribe to my channel. Chisom, come and tell them to subscribe. Come fast. Tell them to subscribe to my channel.
Hi guys!
Hi!
So you have to subscribe to her channel.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Thank you.
She has shared wonderful nuggets, but I can tell that it's from her heart, and God has said this to her to share with you. So subscribe so you can always listen.
Thank you.
Always listen and listen and listen.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys, have a great Friday. Next week, Friday, Mistakenly Yours. I hope you got your tickets at mistakenlyyours.com. Like this video, share with your friends, and sorry about the quality, but it's the best we can do for now. Bye. Who's going to put it off now?
Me.